Hi everyone, Stacy from Dies to Die For. Welcome to night 14 of the 25 Dies of Christmas for December. Tonight we're going to be doing the season's greeting, or 'tis the season, sorry, card with, where is it? The new wrapping paper die. This was a November release. Let's get started with our card. First, we're going to use our rock wall background plate. And I already took my A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and my slimline card 3 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I cut a background piece and I already glued that on, and then I cut out a rock wall for each one and glued those on. For the slimline card, I put the rock wall at the very top. Then you're just gonna take some scissors and snip the sides off. Kind of like that. And for this card, the rock wall doesn't have to go all the way down to the bottom. If it did, I would just cut another rock wall and then cut the bottom off here and piece them together. But it's not necessary for tonight's card. Okay, that a little bit shorter. Then, once you get that done, you're gonna take a brown ink pad. I'm using the Simon Hurley Gur. And just go around the edges real quick. On the bottom, again, it doesn't matter because you're gonna have board pieces covering that. Okay, next we are gonna take our wood boards or wood planks, and then for the A2, I'm gonna cut out 2 of the larger size, and for the slimline, I'm gonna cut out 4 of this size. I tried it with 3, but I wanted it to go all the way up, so I didn't need to piece in the rock wall. And you're gonna take those and glue those down. Sorry, am I working off the mat again? Or down below where the camera reaches? And my glue is clogged up. So let's try to fix this a second. There we go. Now both of these all of these board pieces are a little bit too long for the cards that we're making. So let me see, gotta put it on here. Any of these little flat pieces that aren't fully connected on the edges, you're going to want to make sure you have glue on there so they don't fall off when you cut the edges off. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. So let me get these glued. Make sure I have plenty of glue on those little pieces. Okay, I'm just going to do the 4 pieces for the slimline while I'm at it. And these I just cut out of white. The rock wall in the background I cut out of 2 slightly different shades of brown or tan, because I didn't want them to blend in completely, but I didn't want them to stand out either. So the shades are just a little bit, one's just a little bit darker than the other. I don't know if it's hard to tell that on the camera or not. Oh, and then with these board planks, this very edge, you have to make sure you get some glue on that too so it sticks down. I always forget that little edge, and then it won't stick for me. Okay. think I got it. Nope, gotta get this one too. Move this over. Start layering my pieces. And I put this wood knot facing down. Doesn't really matter what way you put it. Actually, I'm going to start on the top on this one so I know wherever I end up is going to cover. There's not quite enough glue on this little piece, so I'm going to put more glue because I don't want that coming up when I cut the edges off. And then just slightly layer these just a little. The idea is you're trying to make like a workbench. Kind of like what I would imagine the wrapping station at the North Pole would look like. Last one for this card. And then I started at the top on this because once you get down towards the bottom, you can always trim it off, or you can layer it a little bit more so you don't have to trim the bottom off. More glue on that little piece where I know it's going to fall off. Same as this one. I'm just gonna layer it a little bit more so I don't have to try to trim that bottom piece. And then we need our wider boards. Some of this glue leaked through on these boards, so they're kind of sticking to my paper. That's okay, I'll cover them up. This one right about there. This one looks good right there. Okay. Now you can either trim the edges off now or you can wait until you're done. I think I'm going to take my scissors and just trim them off now so I know where to end. I'm going to go over here and do this so my glued pieces don't fall all over my mat. See? We just don't have that much glue on them. I think I can do it right here. There is a little bit of an overhang there, so I'll get that off of there. Here we go. Now the A2 also hangs over just slightly, so trim those up. Okay. We're done with building the card bases there. Sorry, I'm gonna put my samples up here. Then we're gonna take a whole bunch of pieces and build them. We're going to take our wrapping paper. I've already done most of these steps, so you don't have to watch me, but I cut it out in a gray color, and then I cut it out in plaid, black, and green. The gray color is the back layer, so you can see this. I cut the gray, and then I cut this little inside out of the plaid and layered it so it looks like the paper tube that's inside of a wrapping paper tube. And then I also did that with the black and the red, but I wanted these little pieces right here to look like wrapping paper rolls that were all rolled up. So I did the layering on a red and green and black piece, but then I took my scissors and cut it off, rounded this a little to make it look like a roll, or a rolled up roll. Okay, let's get our shelves on the wall. These are my little shelves I'm going to use for the wall to put some wrapping paper and some fun little wrapping things on. Those shelves came off of our fireplace die set. It's the mantle piece. So I cut 3 of them out for the slimline card and 2 of them for the A2 card. Actually, I put my 'tis the season word on first. The 'tis the season I cut out in the same plaid paper as the wrapping paper. And then the green background, because this is a shadow die. There's our 'tis the season die. Let's get some glue on both of the 'tis the season words. Glue on the shelf. Trying to work rather quickly because I already glued those pieces, and this glue does tend to dry quick, especially on when you're putting a little thin layer of it. So let's get the words glued down really quick so I can get my shelves up. And then the A2 up there, I wanted to move it over a little so the bag wasn't covering it. So I'm gonna put that a little bit more off center than I did on the original. There's that. Okay. Now the shelves, the first shelf, oh, and the shelves I went around with a browning pad also. The first shelf, I'm going to put the full shelf on here. Probably right about there. And then the second and third shelf, I hung off the sides a little bit. So, thinking maybe right there. Looks good to me. And then maybe, right there a little bit. I think that's far enough over. Okay. Turn it upside down and snip those off, the edges off. The heat just turned off. Now I can hear myself think again. Oh, that one's a little crooked. Let's try to straighten it up. Or is it this one that's crooked? One of them's crooked. One of them feels crooked to me. Okay. Shelves on the slimline. Let me grab my shelves for my A2. And the A2 shelves, the bottom one, I put all the way on the card. And the top one, I put off to the side a little. Should be about good. Flip it over and cut the back of that off. Okay, our shelves are hung. Now we get to start decorating. Let's start with the A2 card. I cut one of our, where's our glass? Our small glass mason jar. I cut one of them out in vellum because I needed something to put all the pretty little bows on the shelf in. And then I cut a bunch of bows out. Well, I have black, red, green, and a little white streamer in there. I just put a little dab of glue on those and glued them. And then I went around it in brown originally, but it didn't show up as well as I wanted it to. So I went back around the mason jar in black and highlighted them with a little bit of black pen. And I'm just gonna glue around the edges just a hair, because that black pen that you put on there should cover any glue lines. And if you do have them showing through and it bothers you, just put it on there a little bit heavier. I'm gonna put some glue on the back of my ribbons too. Over. I put my little ribbon jar right. Now I move that over so far that the ribbon jar is going to cover the end. Let's see if we can slide the ribbon jar behind it. That would be a good idea. Put a little bit more glue on that. There we go. Okay, then I cut out a bunch of the little pieces off of why do I want to keep calling it a wallpaper die? It's a wrapping paper die. This is the little bag, and here's the tissue paper for it. I cut the bag out in black and the tissue paper in red. Then I took my Santa's bag again and I cut the little doll and the bear out. I stuffed the little doll in the bag. I cut her out in plaid. We're going to put her right on the shelf. Then on this shelf I put our wrapping paper roll. All you're doing is kind of filling in the shelves, making it look like it's a wrapping center. We'll do some scissors. And then I wanted some ribbon on the shelf, but I didn't have enough room for this whole roll. So I just cut the little curly piece off. Made it look like a loose ribbon on the shelf. Hanging down a little bit. You know, when you're wrapping and stuff just gets thrown everywhere. Just so excited to get your wrapping done. Yeah, right. How many of you have started wrapping your presents? I know I haven't. And my 10-year-old daughter reminds me every day, Mom, you still have to wrap our presents. I know, honey, I know. How she knows they're not wrapped, she just knows me, I guess. Okay, now we're going to take a green roll, and if you can see on here, I didn't want to be able to see through the roll, so I put a little piece of gray either inside of the hole or behind them. Right now, do I have a gray marker here? I'll do it when I get home, but anyway, I'll tell you. I'm not going to do that right now. All I'm going to do is when I get home, take a little gray marker and go around the inside of that. Glue our plaid paper down. Then, to make our ribbon rolls, I cut out the ribbon rolls in white to make the little part that you roll the ribbon up on, and then whatever color I wanted my ribbon to be. For example, this one is red. So I trimmed the ribbon part off of the white and layered it on top of the red. there. And let's see, we need a bow just sitting on the wrapping table. Then these presents, or this green present is from, let me see if I can find it. It's from our present trio, our mini present trio. I use this one, and on the slimline I use this present also. But I cut those out and then I just colored the ribbon in black. I could have cut the ribbon out in black and layered it, but it was really late when I was making this card. I just wanted to be done. So I colored. Okay. Take this present and kind of put it up here somewhere. Then the 2 boxes that come with the wrapping paper set, I went around in brown ink and then just kind of set them on the table like somebody's wrapping. Here, let's get a little scissors on. Here's our scissors. Then this open box that's off the wrapping paper set, I put the little bear in there off of the Santa's bag set. Like he's just sitting there waiting to be wrapped. And then put him somewhere up here because that's the next present. The elves are going to work on wrapping. Right there. There, our A2 is done. Let's finish our slimline up. The slimline, I also took the black marker and just kind of went around the bows. And this one over here. One more green present. Now I'm afraid to move my hand because I know it's stuck to the sticker sheet. There we go. Now let's start layering here. I'm going to take this plaid present and put him on the top shelf because it was just small enough to get under that word. And I had a green ribbon spool next to it that I layered again. Then a little, I used a green bag on here, but I don't want to use a green bag on this one. I want to use the little red bag with green tissue paper. And then stick my little doll in there. There, she shows up much better against that green tissue paper than she did the red in the other card. Let's put some scissors on the shelf. And then I'm going to have to build my bow jar for this card because I haven't done that yet. So let's grab the bow jar and build it real quick. I'm going to put a dot of adhesive on a green bow, a black bow, a red bow, and then a couple dots on this little white curly ribbon. And when you put your bows in the jar, don't forget to put them all different directions because when you throw stuff in a jar, it's not all facing up nice and perfectly. Let's put this little white ribbon here. I want the curlier end towards the top. Dang it, let go. There we go. Maybe a green ribbon next. Don't think that I put enough adhesive on that white one. We have our red one. Okay, now adhesive around the edges of this again. Some more dots on the back of here. Alright, let's get our ribbons on our shelf. I love mason jars. They're so useful. You can put anything in them. They look nice no matter what you do to them. Okay. Now on this shelf I put 2 of the rolled up wrapping paper rolls. The red right there all the way to the edge, then the black one kind of in a little, like they're stacked on top of each other. Next, where is my other, oh darn it, I'm missing a plaid wrapping paper roll. And I know I have it because I had all of them when I got here. So let's look in everything and under everything. Might have got shoved over with the extra papers that I brought. If not, I guess I'm cutting one quick, huh? I know I had it though. Well, darn it. I had all of my pieces today. It's been one of those kind of days again. So we're gonna ignore that we don't have that right now until I find it. I'm gonna put the green roll right there, and I put it up on a little bit of an angle. And then my plaid one would go right here. Because there's more space, this is 4 pieces here compared to 2 over there. There's more space, so I put several presents. I think we'll put a green one right there. And a plaid one again. And we have our little boxes again. I think I can put the green gift bag down without having the plaid wrapping paper roll. I am not gonna make you guys wait while I search for it. Though I know it's here, I might have knocked it on the ground. So I'm gonna put this right here, then when I find my plaid wrapping paper, I'll just sneak it right in there. Because if you can see, it's not really, I can sneak it right behind there. It's not really touching much. Put him there. And I gotta put my bear inside of my box again.